All right. Hey everybody, how you doing? Trucker Hank here, live again. I'm finding it's easiest just to do these live. What I'm going to do for you right now is show you how to negotiate a load that you find on the board. Oftentimes, when you're a Landstar BCO or approved carrier, you'll get on the Landstar online board and you'll see when you search in a certain area, like I was searching Arizona to anywhere. Okay, and I was putting my search criteria as van, team, no. And then I wasn't putting in a certain rate or anything, and I was limiting my results to 500, which I wouldn't get, but I got about 125 results out of Arizona for anywhere USA. And then I would, the first thing they do, Landstar by default shows you the highest paying load in gross dollars. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the highest paying per mile, but it's easy to rank it in that order after it pops up. Anyway, I had started searching last Friday. Today is Tuesday, July 31st. It's 5:25 p.m. In Arizona, and it's 2018, July 31st. I had started searching last Friday for a load to leave home. I didn't want to stay a full 7 days this time. I got home last Friday, and I had emailed a broker about this load that I had seen from, and let me show you this, okay? This is a load from, let's look at it closely together. This is a load from uh, Yuma, Arizona to Marsing, Idaho. See right here? Yuma, Arizona to Marsing, Idaho. And that load popped up at this rate last. You're going to notice a couple of different rates here, actually. Last Friday, it popped up at $3,400 and change, and I've also seen it pop up a couple times at 3,200. Now let's pop back over here to the left. These are the agency codes. I don't know what my rights are to be, showing Landstar stuff, so I don't want to divulge Landstar information. So that's why. But this is one, two, three different agencies have the same load listed, and you'll often see that. Now this load was originally set to leave out of uh, Arizona on the 30th, but it emailed a broker about it on Friday. He didn't email me back till Sunday because these guys, let me tell you, a lot of these brokers, the vast majority of them, they, if you're on the West Coast and you're dealing with an East Coast broker, you're screwed because these guys, I guess they're all independently wealthy or something because they all keep bankers' hours. That's really quite funny. There's a couple of the more successful brokerages that have phones answered 7 days a week, but definitely nobody does it 24 hours a day that I've found yet. Anyway, I'd called him about this 944-mile load at 22,000 pounds, and it is a hazmat load. Um, and he just went ahead and put the load on me without speaking to me, which is a big no-no. And I called him back and said, "Hey, man, that was Monday morning. I woke up and I found out, hey, you put this load on me." And I sent him a message saying, "Hey, take that load off me right now. We haven't even spoke about this load because there's no way I was just gonna. I'm 3 hours away from Yuma, and there was no way I was gonna go to nowhere, Idaho, for $3.66 a mile. Because once I'm up there, I'm stuck with really low rates getting out of there. Um, so he took that load off of me, no problems, because he knew he did wrong, But God bless that poor guy. You're gonna find some of these brokers are super hungry and they want the loads done. God, how much would he make on this load? I'm not sure. But anyway, I found out from another broker since then that this load is actually a C. Here's what else you're gonna have to look at here on these loads. This load is not a direct shipper. In other words, this is a broker load that our Landstar brokers are pulling off of the C.H. Robinson load board. This one's a C.H. Robinson, but they're also DAT and other load boards that they pull off of. And you always know that because whenever I click on this right here in details, it always takes me to the details of the load, and also tells me whether or not it's a direct shipper load or not. In other words, that's not a Landstar customer that's doing this. This is a C.H. Robinson broker load. So when I call this guy, whatever agency I call, I've got to call them, and these are phone numbers right here, and the agency code's up here. I got to call him, and I got to say, hey, what's up with this load? It's on the board. You know, 7, 8 times out of 10, it's still going to be available, but sometimes it's not. It's old. He's going to have to call C.H. Robinson, and C.H. Robinson's going to have to call the customer. So I'm just knowing this, I know that C.H. Robinson probably has this load on the board for about, hell, I'm thinking they have it on the load from anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, because they're only offering us $3,400, right? I mean $3,200 down here. These guys are hoping somebody's going to drive all the way down to Yuma. But I'm from Arizona, and I know nobody's going to drive down to Yuma. Not many people, unless they're stuck down there, are going to drive all the way to Yuma to go to nowhere, Idaho, for 366 or even 339 a mile. I like the weight, and that's fine. But my truck, hell, I'll carry up to 45,000. I have no problems with that. That's what the truck's designed to do. I don't have a problem doing that. But anyway, so I noticed it on the board. Somebody else had put it on the board for almost $5,000, and I clicked on that right away because I kept on checking on this load. So I'm not going to leave Arizona until I get what I want, and I'm trying to avoid California. Why am I trying to avoid California? Well, I'm in the process of finding a shop that's going to tune up my truck, and then my truck may not be so much California friendly anymore after that. But we'll see. But it may last a lot longer, and I'll make a lot more money in the long run. Anyway, so I ended up calling another shipper and another broker that had put it on the load board, and I want to show you this. I called them up and I said, hey, what's up with this load? And they said, you know what? Everybody else had loaded. It was a C.H. Robinson load, but I knew the customer. I knew who they were. This is the broker I'm talking to now. And I called them directly, and I said, how much do we charge for this load? And they said, we don't know, but this is what the customer's telling the broker. But we have to get it to Idaho. We have to get it to Idaho yesterday. And so I named a couple. I put a couple numbers to her. I think she had it on there for like 4,400. To be honest with you, it was on for like 4,400. I called her up and I said, I tell you what, get me a hazmat charge, and then get me a hazmat fuel surcharge rate. And so for 944 miles, I get 20 cents a mile for a hazmat charge. Right there. I only get 65% of that. But I also get a fuel surcharge. We'll go back over here. Fuel surcharge. You see it right here. That little thing. I wish I knew how to do like the big dudes and show you how to cast my screen. But anyway, there's the fuel surcharge right there. So let's go ahead and go right. That's 11.52 on a 944 mile trip. That's over $1 a mile for my fuel surcharge. I get 100% of that. I get 65% of this 3,600. Now keep in mind, this load was originally posted at $3,500 total. Okay. So, and I should tell you, there's money in the loads to be made. Don't ever feel bad about talking to a broker about increasing the rate. C.H. Robinson's getting paid for this, and they're just handing it down because they don't, even C.H. Robinson doesn't, with their, God knows how many trucks are running under them. They don't have anybody near Yuma. It's not a popular place. And then are you going to not a popular place? Marsing, Idaho, but I can still get a load out of Marsing, Idaho. It's not a problem. Within 100 miles of Marsing, I can get a load that pays okay. So anyway, I'll probably have a load coming out of the Marsing area going back down to Dallas or Fort Worth by tomorrow, and that will get me back down for what's called my cabs class. I need to take a one-day class, and Landstar gives me $250 to take that class. It'll even give me a hotel for the night if I want it. And they have a nice little facility down there for the trucks and with a little laundry and everything. I'll go back down there. And I used to live in Fort Worth, so I like the area. And I lived in Arlington, within sight of the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Um, so by keeping my eye on the load board and noticing that nobody was taking a load. Now, the reason I even bring this up is because when I was in Salt Lake last week, I was taking a load from Salt Lake to St. George, and I said, you know what, let me get something out of Las Vegas to go to Phoenix. Well, there was this load down there that was paying $750 total to go from Vegas to Phoenix. And I'm like, hey, screw you. I'm not going anywhere for $750. I don't care if it's only 300 miles, whatever. Um, and Get me 1,000. I called the broker. Said, get me $1,000 for this, man. Don't sit on your ass. Call these people up and get me $1,000 for it. Well, you know what that lazy ass broker did? He probably didn't do anything because he called me back like 30 minutes later. Oh, I couldn't get anything for it at 750. You want it or not? And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not waiting to get loaded and waiting to get unloaded for $750 total money. Um, Turns out that load popped up on the board because nobody would take it for that rate. Thank goodness. It popped back up on the board later that day for 1,100, and I missed the call by 5 minutes. Somebody else got it before me. But if that broker had been more proactive, now see, this is also something else I want to point out to you. If you call this broker right here on this load, you see this load's listed 3 times by 3 different brokers, right? And then I use a 4th broker to get the load. I must have seen this load on there 5 times. And he can't get you an increased rate, he or she. Call this broker. And you know what? If you're really smart about it, you'll call another broker and say, I tell you what, call the customer, tell them I'll do it for 6,000. Now you got a broker calling the customer, telling them they'll do it for 6,000. You know it's a no. You already know it's a no. But there's a chance that they'll give you 6,000 for it, right? But you know it's a no. Now, call another broker and tell them you'll do it for 5,000. And the other broker is going to be calling this customer and say, hey, I got a truck saying they'll do it for 5,000. And it's a different broker, different number, right? So the customer doesn't feel like they're being gamed. They're like, well, we just had a truck say they do it for 6,000. Well, now we got a guy doing it for 5,000. That sounds like a deal all of a sudden. It's only 1,500 more than what we're putting on the board. Or in the case of these guys, 3,200. Now remember, you agree to do this load for $3,200, and he's already negotiated a rate of 5,000. That belongs all to the broker. Don't let the broker have that much money. All he's doing is sitting in an office paying for some phones. Okay? A lot of these guys are one-man operations. Not all of them, 1 or 2 persons. A lot of the big ones obviously aren't that way, right? But I mean, if this is just a guy working out of his pickup truck on a phone doing a part-time thing while he's building a house in Oregon, I say that because I know an agent that's doing that exact same thing, like a part-time hobby broker. You don't want to give that guy almost $2,000, $1,800. That's your $1,800. You give him $100 for wasting his time on the phone. All right. He does that once a day, 5 days a week. He's making $2,000 a month. He pays his $1,000 in fees or whatever it is he has to pay. He's still making $1,000 a month for doing next to nothing. All right. You, on the other hand, are taking all the risk. You're going out there and moving the freight. And guess what, buddy? Let me tell you something. This is a it's a hazmat load. What risk are they taking? They're not taking any risk. You are taking the risk. Get the money. Get on the phone and be willing to use the phone. If you're not willing to use the phone, don't do it. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Now, I'm going to be doing a video here about about the Landstar load board and the Landstar online website. It's pretty cool. I like the website a lot. I can't, I'm going to. All right. I don't know where it ended, folks, but what I was saying was it's your money, all right? Do not, whatever you do not let them take advantage of you because it's a hazmat load. You're the one that's taking the load. If it's a hobby broker who's giving you $3,200 and he's getting $5,000 from C.H. Robinson, don't give that $1,800 to that broker. You take it, and you take it yourself. You take it on your own. That's yours. That's nobody else's. So anyway, I want to go back real quick. I am going to be I'm going to put you over here to black real quick. I'm going to pop down here to oh geez. Um, ooh, okay. And then I am going to let's go right here to black. I'm going to pop this up here. I am going to go to home, and I'm going to do that reset. Landstar online. Folks, forgive the black screen real quick. I'm just going to show you, give you a little teaser real quick, all right? All right, I am going to log into, that. Now, I am going to make sure that you don't see my name. And I don't want to be offended in any way, shape, or form. Make sure I am not identifying myself in any way, shape, or form. Okay, look at this, folks. Let's I want to show you something here real quick, okay? I want to show you this right here. All right, I just started doing on the website what's called the voluntary escrow, right here. And I put in I'd like to build my escrow account up to $25,000. I've got zero in it, but from this point forward, 15% of everything I make, the gross amount that I make, my 65%, 15%. So basically, I'll be getting 50% on my pay. 15% will be staying in an escrow account that I'll be using for maintenance here until I get this built up. And why 25,000? Because 25,000 is the low side of a new engine. Okay, I've seen some engines cost 21,000 depending where you get it. And if you're going to go brand new factory remand, new everything, all the accessories, maybe 30,000, 32,000. That sounds crazy, but that's just the extreme, right? What I want to do is I'm going to be doing a video here. It says log violations right here. That doesn't mean I have to click on that to have log violations. These are compliance events that I have coming up in the next 30 days. That means there's a trailer I'm pulling that needs an inspection, and there is my truck that needs an inspection. Now, overdue, it says 1. That's because the last trailer I pulled was overdue for an inspection. But because I pulled it was a drop-in hook, and I pulled it for an agency that makes you sign an agreement saying you will drop it. You will not do any inspections on it. You don't get to stop and inspect it because it's a just-in-time load. Anyway, what I want to do with you guys is I want to go through the search with you guys. Search available loads. We can go through load alerts, which is Landstar thinks these work great, but they don't. This is just right here is just an advance on the trip I just showed you. That's just an advance of 30%. On the trip I just showed you. And I can't show you my undelivered loads because it has an identifying mark in it. I haven't gone through this. I'm going to try and set it up to where we can do it and take a look at it together, though. There is a lot of really cool stuff on the Landstar website. I like the trip planning section. This availability right here just tells people where your last load was that you dropped off, and this is where I will be dropping off in Marsing, Idaho. Now, obviously, Landstar could search and find out how many trucks are going to Marsing, Idaho, and they'd find out who I am. But as long as you don't know who I am, I'm not trying to hide anything from Landstar. And if they don't want me doing these videos, let me tell you something. I'll stop. Because this isn't so much a Landstar advertisement as it is an experience that I'm going through with Landstar. Anyway, folks, let's go back and look at the thing that I had showed you earlier. Let me just zoom back. Let's see if it'll zoom out for me, and I'm sure it will. See, nothing to it. Oops, zoom back in. There we go. There we go. Oops. Wow, I am just terrible at this. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Um, what kind of loads out of Boston? Okay, that's a question that's fair. Let's, um, you know, let me. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and search that real quick for you. So let's. Here I'm gonna go ahead and put this to black real quick. I'm sorry, and I'm going to go search available loads, and I'm going to go Boston really quick, and I will show you what's going on with Boston. Be amazed how many Bostons there are in America. And this will be team no, and trailers van, because that's what I take. And then wow, um, not impressive. Let's take a look together. Okay, let's go on back in there together. Um, I will pull this down. Let me see if I can't. Oh, I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. Hold on a second here. Um, all right. Let's take a look at this together, shall we? Let's move it on there together. That's all I got out of Boston right now. On August 5th, it looks like Boston, Mass to Buffalo, New York. Flat power, which means just your truck or van. $2,000, 454 miles, 441 a mile, 40,000 pounds. And it looks like there's a repeat of that right below. And I'm going to go down a little bit and let me look at the agencies and see if they're the same agency. And it's two different agencies, so two different agencies. Now I'm going to pop on the details of this load and see, and it's not a direct shipper. That is a broker load. And I'm going to go through all that. I hate to do that to you right now like this, but just not showing it to you, but just off the cuff, I wanted you guys to see that. Yeah, so that's out of Boston right now. I guess Boston's not the mecca of shipping for Landstar. Got another question here. Hank, can you show me some loads from Atlanta, Georgia to Southwest? Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm. All right, I'll do it. Why not? I'm gonna go over here to black real quick, and let's go back over here to. I'm just trying to protect my identity in Landstar, folks. I'm not trying to hide anything from you. I just don't want to step on anybody's toes, is all. You know what I mean? I'm happy to tell anybody my name and everything. I love like Daniel McCarthy. He's on there. He's doing his own thing. Let me go home. Let's do search available loads. And I'm going to search all the loads, not van, not flatbed. I'm not going to put anything. I'm just going to put Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see. Atlanta. How many Atlantas are there? Let me tell you, Landstar tells you. Atlanta, California. Wow, really? Atlanta, Arkansas? Really? There's Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm going to do a radius of 100 miles around Atlanta. No, that's what I didn't do. Boston, all I did was Boston. I should have done a radius around Boston of 100 miles. Damn it. See, that's why I need to be ready to do this for you guys. Now, I'm going to list the results, the 500, and then let me get off this. Team, no. Well, let's put team, yes. Let's put all. And then I'm not going to limit it to vans. I'm just going to uncheck that. It'll be and now anything is going to come up. So this is everything that Landstar has coming out of Atlanta for 100-mile radius around Atlanta. And that is, wow, 500 loads were found matching your criteria. That's huge. Okay, so we'll do that, and just real quick, I'll stretch this out and then show it to you guys, so I can hide the what do you call it? Some of the details. Um, all right, now let's see here. Oops. No. All right, here we go. Here it comes. I appreciate your patience. Um, oh, I guess I have to go all the way to the bottom to find the. Oh, I see why it doesn't hide it. Now I can hide it. Okay, here we go. Um, I can get that over. There we go. Sorry, folks. Just trying to do this. All right, now here it is. This is the loads out of Atlanta for today. I didn't put any specific date. Here's 7:31. Atlanta going to LA. That's a drop deck, a double drop, and a low boy. That's 25 grand. That's 11.55 a mile. It weighs 110,000 pounds. Okay, that's a specialized load. So, like I said, they show them in the highest, uh, dollar amount right there. So let's do rate per mile, and that's going to show us the lowest rate per mile, which is 0. Now let's do it again. It's going to give me the highest rate per mile. Of course, that one's going to be at the top of the list. Oh, there's one for $33.22. That's 10,000 miles. It's a double drop or a low boy, 5-axle, 301 miles. Boy, if you're into the low axles, this is the place to be, I guess. But let's see. Let's get into regular flatbeds. Suwanee, Georgia, going to Tampa, Kansas. That's a double drop. That's 8 grand, 826 a mile. A lot of heavy stuff coming out of Atlanta. Interesting. Our big stuff. Here's a low boy. Here's a step deck. Not much sure what HS is. There's a low 2 axles. Here's a 48 flat, 53 foot regular flatbed. Okay, 503 a mile, 40,000 pounds. That's not a problem. Going from Jefferson, Georgia to Middleton, Delaware, 656 miles. Now going to the southwest. So the way we would find it to the southwest is like this. We'd hit destination. And then it's going to give us everything going to the Arizona area. Let's pop it over a little bit. All right, look at this now. This is Cartersville, Georgia, going to Casa Grande, Arizona, right down the street from me, about 50 miles. That is a van load, paying $230 a mile, 43,000 pounds, hazmat, 4,100 bucks. Whatever. But this isn't the highest rate per mile. This is where it's going. Atlanta to Phoenix. $189 a mile. Okay, here we go. $278 a mile. Norcross, Georgia to Surprise, Arizona. 38,000 pounds, 5,100 bucks. 1,800 miles. 278. Let's go down here. 284 a mile. Athens, Georgia to British Columbia. Yeesh. All right, let's get down to California. All right, Marietta, Georgia, going to Downey, California. $164. Yuck. That's just viciously awful. I'm just going to keep. There we go. What is this? There's that 11.55 for that double drop. Whatever. Going to LA. Let's see. Keep going. Keep going. Here we go. 327 a mile. Step deck. 7 grand. 2,100 miles. Atlanta to Roseburg, California. Let's see. 223. East PT, Georgia. What is that? I don't know what that is, but it's within 100 miles of Atlanta. Going to Aurora, Colorado. 233 a mile, 30,000 pounds. When it says 1 on the weight, they don't know. 231, 222, 281. Here's $4 a mile. That's another double drop, oversized, 57,000 pounds. Jesus. So it looks like 281. That's a van coming from Norcross to Denver. So we get an idea here of what's happening. Here's some $3 rates. That's up to Connecticut. God damn it. Okay, so now if we go all the way down here, let's see what the Northwest is doing. Oh, Las Vegas, Nevada, from Bremen, Georgia, $161. No thanks. You can keep that. Like, keep that right now. That's like gas get home money. What is that even? New York, New York, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Tennessee. No, no, no. Texas, Houston, Texas. From Georgia to Houston, 248, 248, 240. Laredo, Texas, 228, 278. I want to see some Washington loads. Let's see what Washington. Castle Rock. That is terrible going to Washington. What kind of. Who thinks they can pay $1.49 for 42,000 pounds in freight going 2,700 miles to Washington, to nowhere, Washington? You know how tough it is to get out of Washington? Uh, these people are terrible, but call them up, negotiate them. You never know. But if there's people taking these rates and you see them on the road, slap the shit out of them for me, will you? My God, what's wrong with people? Um, Especially in today's market. Wyoming, 350 a mile. Wyoming, 350 a mile for van loads. 43,000 hazmat. Okay, you guys get it. I didn't mean to do all that. I just wanted to show you a negotiating rate with another person. I always make these videos run long, and I shouldn't. Thanks so much for watching. There's Chanel Truck Dog, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great day. And thanks so much for watching.